So this was a incident that took place on the south side that makes absolutely no sense, man. There was a popular dance like studio leader on the south side of Chicago, a guy named Verndell Smith, and they're calling him a pillar in Chicago's dance community. Didn't seem to be like involved in any street stuff whatsoever, at least not that I've been able to find out. Seemed to be just as totally like, keeping it legal, all that kind of thing, doing his thing with the dance. And he was killed the other day, man. And I don't know if any crossfire that he was caught in or anything like that. So whether or not the shooting was targeted is very confusing, man. A guy who they say was a pillar in the Chicago house music dance scene, was killed Wednesday after walking out of a Dunkin' Donuts. His family and his dance students said Thursday that his murder has left a hole in the community. The guy was 32 years old. He was grabbing coffee at about 11:30 a.m. Wednesday at a Dunkin' Donuts at 74th and South King Drive, 5 blocks away from his dance studio. When he came out, he was shot and killed. So I don't know if he was the intended target or not. And he was deaf in one ear and partially deaf in the other, but he learned to dance to the beat and rhythm of music. This reminded me of the story of Beethoven, the composer who was also deaf, but who did it by the vibrations, was able to tell which notes were playing by the vibrations. This is, how some of these guys are able to do it, man, and it's an incredible story, but he was the founder of something called the Silent Threat Dance Team that often danced in Chicago's Bud Billiken Parade. And the studio was also a safe haven for children in the Grand Crossing neighborhood on the south side for 10 years. So, 74th and King Drive, the whole King Drive, really. I mean, from the 70s, all the way up into, really almost until you get like, I mean, really past the low end, I would say, what I'm saying, is hot. What I'm saying? Now, it gets particularly hot, in the 60s. You got O Block. Front Street's about a block off of that at Indiana, but, you got 600, you got 400 East a little bit up the street. They're, I think, hanging out actually somewhere else now, but I mean, these neighborhoods are all hot. Okay, so that area, there's a lot of kids over there that need someplace safe to go. Someplace where there's something for them to do after school, so they're not just hanging out, kind of interacting with the gang members, because that gets them involved in that stuff, man. So keeping them occupied with a hobby and stuff like that is a very positive thing. There's programs like this in Chicago, a lot of guys like this that are doing this. And when one of these guys gets killed, it's really like an extra punch in the gut to the city, man. But like I said, he was the founder of this, okay? A sister of his says that her brother had just recently started drinking coffee. She said one of his campaigns was to stop shooting and start dancing. So he was all about stopping the violence. And she said it's ironic as it is. 3 weeks ago, he just started drinking coffee, and then he ends up getting shot coming out drinking coffee. She said, so it's ironic. And she said that there are students on his dance team that he has talked out of having guns. So he leaves behind a 10-year-old son and also a family that loves him and students whose lives he forever positively impacted. So the Bud Billiken Parade organizers say that his death is a loss. He participated for 5 years with his dance team, but for 20 years he was a dancer in the parade. And Chicago police are investigating, but nobody's in custody. Anybody with information is encouraged to call Chicago police. You can remain anonymous. And if you don't feel comfortable contacting the cops, contact one of these bloggers. If you don't want to contact me, contact one of these other bloggers. I mean, we can put it out and take the heat. You know what I'm saying? Because we're put up somewhere. I mean, I'm not saying every single one of us, but I mean, at least me, man. I'm ducking everybody out here. You see me moving around these streets, my head on a swivel. So if you want to hand the information off to me, you know what I'm saying? Nobody will ever know who told me. Okay? Unless you were the only one there that saw it, then they might figure it out. But, if you heard it through the grapevine, in the neighborhood, man, you can let somebody know. Because as long as the whole don't snitch code is a thing, guys are going to be able to continue to do this with impunity, you know what I'm saying, and not have to worry about getting caught. So that's one trend, in Chicago that we need to stop, man. If you're not in the streets, if you are in the streets and trying to get out of the streets, and you know what went on with this, you know what I'm saying, pass that information off. And then hopefully, the court system in Chicago will come through, because, they've been obviously letting out a lot of guys that, shouldn't have been out there and could have prevented stuff. But rest in peace to this guy, man. Anybody, I know he knew a lot of people down there, impacted a lot of people's lives. Anybody who's got personal stories, you can leave that in the comment section or hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can make a separate video about that, because, guys like this are the kinds of guys that I feel like the city needs to have on showcase more, because so much of the negative that goes on in Chicago always gets shown, but a lot of the positive, like, stuff like what this guy was doing, it doesn't get shown, man. This is your boy Winnie C. Report. I'm out.